Welcome to London Property Digest, your essential 10-minute audio recap for staying informed on London's property market. Today, we're diving into something that's making waves in the London property scene, and globally, too.
Okay.
It's the rise of wellness real estate.
Mm-hmm.
We're not just talking about a gym and a pool here.
Right.
Think luxury apartments with meditation nooks. In building 5E therapy, even things like lymphatic drainage shower heads.
Wow.
It's a whole new level.
Yeah, what's fascinating here is the shift in priorities it represents. People aren't just looking for a place to live, they're looking for a place that actively enhances their well-being, potentially even impacting how long they live.
Okay, lymphatic drainage shower heads. Can you unpack that a bit?
Right, it sounds a bit out there.
Is that actually a thing?
But the idea is to stimulate the lymphatic system, which plays a role in immunity and detoxification. Some believe it can reduce inflammation and boost energy levels. Whether it actually extends lifespan is debatable, but it reflects the desire to integrate health and wellness into the very fabric of the home.
So you're thinking of investing in London property. This trend is something you need to know about, because the Global Wellness Institute estimates this market could be worth over $900 billion by 2028.
Wow.
That's more than double its value just last year. It seems like developers are catching on to this shift.
Absolutely, and they're getting really creative. Look at the Well in Miami. They're offering residences with hydroponic gardens, air fryers, even those lymphatic drainage shower heads. They're trying to demonstrate that living there can actually make you healthier.
And then you have entire communities designed around wellness, right?
Exactly, like Lake Nona in Florida. They've got specialized sports facilities, a metabolic health lab. They're seeing property values skyrocket compared to nearby areas.
Closer to home, the newly redeveloped Chelsea Barracks in London boasts a massive fitness complex with an underground tennis court and a viewing gallery.
Wow.
Luxury is becoming synonymous with wellness.
Absolutely.
What did you say?
And it's not just about pampering. Some developments are taking a serious look at longevity. Tony Robbins' project, The Estate, integrates preventative medicine and longevity principles into its hotels and residences. And Silvestre Nosara in Costa Rica, they're offering condos in one of the world's blue zones areas where people live the longest.
All on blue zones. For those of us not in the know,
A great question.
what are those exactly?
Blue zones are regions around the world where people consistently live longer and healthier lives. They're studied to understand the lifestyle, environmental, and dietary factors that contribute to their longevity.
So you're not just buying a property, you're buying into a lifestyle that could potentially extend your lifespan.
That's the idea.
It's a whole new way of thinking about real estate investment.
Though it's important to remember that there are challenges. Developers need to ensure they're offering genuine value, staffing wellness centers with qualified experts, and avoiding a one-size-fits-all approach.
Right, and will people actually use all these fancy amenities? Remember Peloton? Those bikes ended up as expensive clothes hangers for a lot of people.
It's a valid point. Developers need to be mindful of creating amenities that are truly valuable and usable.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Even if you're not buying into these large-scale developments,
Okay.
people are bringing wellness into their existing homes.
Yes. Interior designers are seeing increased demand for things like meditation spaces, saunas, and even turning pools into cold plunges.
So it seems wellness is finding its way into our homes one way or another. Whether it's a high-tech development or a simple meditation corner, the focus on well-being is here to stay. So what does all this mean for the London property market? Will we see more of these wellness-focused developments popping up? And how will this impact property values across the city?
It's certainly a trend to watch. The demand for properties that prioritize well-being is growing, and developers in London are taking notice. It will be interesting to see how this shapes the future of London real estate.
So are these souped-up wellness features just a passing fad for the super rich? Or could they actually impact your next property search in London? We'll dig into that right after a quick break.
I think it's safe to say that wellness is becoming like a defining feature of luxury living, and it's going to have a big impact on the London market.
So are we going to see meditation nooks and cold plunge pools becoming as standard as concierge or a gym in these luxury developments?
It's definitely possible. As buyers become more aware of the benefits of wellness and prioritize their health, they're going to expect these features. Especially in the luxury market, developers will need to keep up with those expectations.
That makes sense. And what about the impact on property values across London? Are these wellness features going to translate into higher prices?
We're already seeing that happen. In places like Lake Nona, those homes are selling for significantly more than comparable properties nearby, because buyers are willing to pay a premium for those wellness features. It's not just about feeling good, it's also becoming a savvy investment.
So you're not just investing in a property, you're investing in a lifestyle that could potentially boost your property value down the line.
Exactly. And that's something for buyers to consider. However, there's also the potential downsides to think about. We talked about the possibility of people not actually using these amenities and the high service charges that come with maintaining them.
Right, because who wants to end up with a fancy cold plunge pool that's just gathering dust? And those service charges can really add up, especially in these luxury buildings.
Absolutely. Developers need to be very careful about creating amenities that are genuinely valuable and usable, and they need to be transparent about the costs involved so that buyers aren't hit with unexpected expenses.
It sounds like a balancing act, creating a desirable and functional wellness space, while managing costs and ensuring long-term value. What should buyers be looking out for when considering a wellness-focused property?
First, look beyond the glossy marketing brochures and really dig into the quality and functionality of the amenities. Ask yourself, were these features designed with expert input? Are they well maintained and properly staffed?
So don't just be swayed by a fancy name or a celebrity endorsement. Do your homework and make sure the features are actually up to scratch.
Exactly. Second, consider your own lifestyle and needs. Think about whether you'll actually use the amenities and if they align with your personal wellness goals.
It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of a sauna or a rooftop yoga studio, but it's important to be realistic about how these features will fit into your daily routine. You don't want to end up paying for amenities you never use.
Right. And finally, don't forget about the financial aspect. Make sure you factor in those service charges and consider the potential impact on resale value.
It's an investment just like any other property purchase, so do your research, crunch the numbers, and make sure it aligns with your overall financial strategy.
The rise of wellness real estate is a fascinating development, and it will be interesting to see how it unfolds in the coming years, especially in a dynamic market like London.
It definitely feels like we're at a turning point. Wellness is no longer a niche interest. It's becoming a fundamental part of how we live and design our spaces. It's changing the face of real estate as we know it.
And that's what makes it so exciting to watch. It's not just about luxury anymore. It's about creating spaces that support our physical and mental well-being.
So stay informed, stay curious, and keep an eye out for those innovative developments in London that are putting well-being at the forefront. Subscribe to London Property Digest for the latest updates on the London property market. It's definitely fascinating to see how this focus on wellness is influencing the London property market. But for our listeners who are curious about this trend, what are some key things they should look out for when considering a wellness-focused property in London?
Well, first and foremost, I'd say don't be swayed by the hype. Just because a building has a few trendy wellness features doesn't mean it's genuinely designed to promote well-being.
So how can potential buyers sort the wheat from the chaff, so to speak?
I'd suggest looking beyond the marketing and really scrutinizing the quality and practicality of those amenities. Are they thoughtfully designed? Are they integrated into the building's overall architecture and layout?
So it's not just about having a meditation room tucked away in a basement corner. It needs to be a well-considered part of the living space.
Precisely. And think about the long term. Are those amenities built to last? Are they easily maintainable because shoddy construction or poorly maintained facilities can quickly turn that dream wellness oasis into a nightmare?
And let's not forget about staffing. A state-of-the-art gym is great, but is there qualified staff available to provide guidance and support? What about those specialized wellness services? Are they staffed by experienced professionals?
Those are all crucial questions to ask. You want to make sure those wellness features are supported by knowledgeable and reliable staff. And of course, don't forget to factor in the cost of those services. Those fees can add up quickly.
Right, it's all well and good having access to all these amazing amenities, but it needs to be financially sustainable in the long run. Speaking of cost, what about service charges? Those can be a major consideration, especially in London.
Absolutely. Wellness features often come with higher service charges, so buyers need to be aware of those costs and factor them into their budget. Transparency from developers is key here.
It's a good reminder that while these features are attractive, they're not without their considerations. But overall, it seems like this trend towards wellness real estate is here to stay. What are your final thoughts for our listeners?
I think the integration of wellness into real estate is a really positive development. It shows that people are prioritizing their health and well-being, and developers are responding to that demand. For buyers, it's an exciting opportunity to find properties that support their lifestyle and enhance their quality of life. But as with any investment, do your research, ask the right questions, and make sure it aligns with your long-term goals.
Excellent advice. And for those of you who want to stay ahead of the curve on this and all the other exciting developments in the London property market, don't forget to subscribe to London Property Digest for the latest updates,